Well, one of the biggest issues before the state legislature right now is infrastructure.
How much will the state pay and for what when it comes to government building projects across Montana? MTN's Mike Dennison tells us the status of these proposals.
Right now, Montana lawmakers are considering a half dozen bills to authorize almost $360 million worth of building projects. That total includes $135 million in cash or cash authority for new state and university system buildings, renovation, and maintenance. Among these projects are $20 million to fix up state fishing access, parks, and other recreational sites, $12 million for maintenance and improvements at the state capitol complex and other buildings statewide, and $5 million for a new veterans nursing home in Butte. There's also $44 million in coal trust loans, mostly for big regional water projects in eastern Montana, and the big one, $160 million in bonded debt, which would pay for a remodeled Romney Hall on the MSU campus in Bozeman, a new State Historical Society building, and scores of water, wastewater, and bridge projects in smaller towns all over the state. But state borrowing requires approval by 2/3 majority of each house, and for several sessions now, a conservative bloc of Republicans has blocked bonding bills for infrastructure. That's led some Republicans to propose a new process for deciding state building projects.
After the last bonding bill failed again, I said, okay, we've got to figure out a different way to do this because it's the same old argument.
Moore is preparing a bill that would create a new fund with specific streams of revenue and financial triggers for how the state can invest in new buildings. Republican Representative Mike Hopkins of Missoula, who chairs a panel that reviewed the building plans, says it resembles a vetting process already in place for many smaller projects.
We want to take that system and we want to attach it to the overall conversation around infrastructure in the state of Montana.
Moore also says creating this process may encourage some who've opposed bonding bills to support one this session.
But I still think it'll help the comfort level even this session because this will go into effect in the next biennium.
Democrats say they may support the concept, but that a bonding bill needs to pass this session.
We're willing to work hand in hand to get the strategic plan done, but they got to be willing to work with us to get some of these major projects done that have been sitting and just getting more expensive every day.
Republicans, however, already say they're likely to scale back Governor Steve Bullock's big bonding bill. The Historical Society building money is likely to come out and end up in a standalone bill. And the Romney Hall remodel at MSU spokesman Tracy Ellig says it's well past time to get it done and hopes that enough lawmakers agree.
The state has not passed a bonding bill since 2005 for major building vertical construction. It's been 14 years. I think over time people have seen that that's an issue and it needs to be addressed.
Some initial committee votes on infrastructure bills will happen on Thursday, but that's just the first step. Don't be surprised if this issue comes down to the last day of the session. At the Capitol, Mike Dennison, MTN News.